9,000 exhausted Englishmen waited, outnumbered 3-1. Across the valley, 30,000 knights, the pride of Europe, prepared to crush them.
They argued over who would have the honor of killing the English king.
4 hours later, their glory would lie broken beneath the same hooves. 1,500 nobles lay dead. Princes, dukes, and kings. The English lost 40 men, not 400. 40. The flower of Europe's nobility, erased in an afternoon. Crows grew so fat on noble flesh they could barely fly. 500 years of armored dominance, ended by peasants with sticks and string. Where medieval warfare died, in the mud of Crécy. Honor and pride, buried beneath a storm of arrows. 4 hours day. That was all it took to end an era. On that field, courage met mathematics and lost. In one afternoon, the age of knights ended. Edward III set his course for Normandy, the first move in a campaign that would set Europe on fire.
He landed with 15,000 brave, veterans, archers, and hard men who'd fought under his banner for years.
They moved fast and ruthless, a chevauchée, devastation as strategy. Village after village burned Pret, proof the French king could not shield his people. They looted Caen, then angled toward the coast with Neating, always moving, always burning.
Exhausted, yes, but tactical. Every mile chosen to force the French to chase uphill and hungry.
Edward chose ground, not glory tide, drawing his enemy toward a hill he could hold.
Philip VI assembled the largest host in Christendom, 30 to 35,000 strong. For 5 centuries, these men had decided battles with a single charge. Princes and kings came to share the glory, a medieval avengers assembled on French soil.
Philip tried to impose discipline on an army too noble to obey.
Supplies lagged behind, the shields and strings that would matter most. Pageantry masqueraded as readiness. Pride gleamed brighter than prudence. They marched through the wreckage Edward left. The land itself turned into a weapon. Every mile of ruin was a message. Your king cannot protect you. Discipline shows in minutes. Foresight measured in wax and string. Edward sought heights and angles. Numbers mean less when the ground itself fights for you. Confidence fermented into vanity cow. A tournament in the making. While pride drank, preparation worked. The ridge became a killing field. By morning, the largest army in Christendom faced a smaller force that had already chosen the ground Crécy and the terms.
It began as 6 feet of yew for strength.
Tillering found the curve the sheriff, and with it, the force, a draw so brutal it remade the men who pulled it. Waxed linen held a fury of stored spring, a humble cord harnessing tons of violence.
By law, the English practiced after church, every Sunday. skill by statute, discipline by habit.
Even play was outlawed if it stole hours from the bow. England trained a nation, one parish green at a time.
12 arrows a minute. Accuracy at distances nobles swore were impossible.
The longbow did not use the arm alone. It demanded the back, the ribs, the will.
Criminals became archers, service boat pardon-bound. England fed its armies from its prisons and parishes alike.
Bones tell the cost. Archers' left arms grew longer, thicker, reshaped by years of brutal draw.
A peasant with a stick and string could kill a noble born in armor.
Bodkins for armor, broadheads for flesh, uris. Each arrow a choice about what must break.
150, sometimes 180 pounds, the kind of draw that bends men or breaks them.
At 250 yards it wasn't marksmanship. It was weather time. They made their own storm.
At the right range and angle, Bodkins split mail and found the flesh it hid. Plate turned many blows deftand, but joints and visors were doors, and the longbow carried keys. Armor was costly. Horses were priceless and far easier to kill. In battle, they would run out, then harvest the field and fire the enemy's misery back at him. A weapon costing shillings, shattered armor worth a fortune, the math no noble wanted to face. Longbow turned birthright into target practice. Titles meant nothing at 200 paces. On a chosen ridge, peasants with yew and cord prepared to erase 5 centuries of cavalry certainty. Edward put his camp on a hill and turned ground into a weapon.
Knights stepped down from pride and chose to live.
He drew a ridge, 3 bodies, and a killing V of archers.
Wax, oil, and order funds. Small minutes that would decide hours.
Ditches and teeth of wood, where hooves expected earth.
Their lines crossed and interlocked. Bam! A net of arrows waiting to fall.
Discipline over pride seen. A lesson learned.
Meat and ale, small mercies that turn nerves into sleep.
An army that sleeps with full bellies, wakes with steady hands. One army kept strongs dry. The other let rain write its fate.
Arrows were counted like coin and spent the same, with interest.
Silence. Broken only to prove it could be broken.
3 bodies of men, 1 mind for ground.
Nerves learn from hands that have lived through mornings like this.
Angles fixed, lines set, a geometry of death waiting for pride.
Patience sharpened at both ends.
Morning found order on the ridge and arrogance in the valley.
The king ordered patience.
A minute of rain chose sides. Their shields lagged with the baggage. Their orders did not.
Their first shots fell with the rain. England answered with a practiced storm. Witnesses said it sounded like thunder, Guy, and looked like weather.
Without shields, they were nothing but targets!
Pride mistook allies for obstacles.
They killed the men they'd paid to clear the way to die.
Numbers met ground, and ground didn't flinch. Even when arrows didn't pierce, they rang men like bells.
Command dissolved beneath the weight of pride. Knights don't wait!
One sound carried death. The other carried water. The sacred banner promised victory. The ground had other vows. Each charge climbed the dead of the last. Pride overtook command, and met a wall of discipline.
Tired hands stepped into range with no shields and no chance. Their first
Died in the mud. England answered with weather it made itself. The sky darkened with arrows.
Without shields, they were only targets.
Pride mistook allies for obstacles. They murdered the men they'd hired.
Numbers met preparation.
Momentum died in holes and sharpened wood. Even when they didn't pierce, the blows rang men like bells. Fortunes in horseflesh became barricades in seconds. 12 a minute's hum, discipline turned to weather. Each charge climbed the dead of the last.
Compassion had no place in a storm of math.
They ran out of arrows, then harvested the field.
One sound carried death. The other carried water.
Visors were doors, and bodkins had keys. A blind king chose a single blow over retreat.
struck once and died as he wished, sword in hand. Glory met carpentry and lost! Chivalry bled out under common tools.
They fought each other to be first to die!
Mercy had been cancelled.
The French died by arrows twice, Lint, once on the way in, once on the way back. Faith promised victory. Arithmetic refused.
Even kings learn the new rules the hard way.
Chaos spent itself against a wall of discipline. The massacre had a rhythm, and it did not miss a beat.
Blind for years, he listened to the battle he could not see.
He chose what he had always chosen: steel, duty, and forward. He could not see the road, only the way.
3 riders made into one decision.
Even the storm held for a heartbeat.
He rode toward the sound. Into the rain, into the iron.
Sight gone, aim unshaken. Discipline does what mercy cannot. Pain did not part them.
He struck his one blow.
Courage, pain in full. Honor leaves signs for enemies to read.
He would carry the courage he had fought.
From an enemy's helm, a future badge. His charge did not change the battle, only the story men told. Courage traveled on, stitched to another name.
They came again, and again. Round, not numbers, chose the moment. Glory met sharpened wood. Men hid, horses could not.
Mud fought on England's side.
Ambition tripped itself. Chivalry met carpentry, then carpentry's keepers.
Even vows grow tired. A king learned the new order the hard way. The sacred flag found gravity. Sunset counted the cost. They camped on the ridge. Finished move. Order returned to those who had kept it. Silence. Broken, only to prove it could be. Wealth outlived the men it armored. 40 lost. Thousands opposite. France's sainted flag slept in the mud. It wasn't just the deaths, it was who died.
Princes, dukes, and lords, names that once meant invincible.
One field unbalanced a social order. Peasants with sticks and string rewrote the code of war.
Blood didn't measure worth. Results did.
Riches outlived their owners and changed hands.
Tactics and tools, not titles, ruled the day.
On that muddy slope, the medieval world ended.
Courage couldn't beat mathematics.